Hi everyone, can you all hear me?
Hello.
Hello, hi everybody, can you all hear me?
Friends, put up the message in the chat whether you are able to see the video of the speakers and hear the speaker as well.
Hello.
Yes, Tej, everyone can hear you loud and clear.
Everyone can hear loud and clear. Great. A very good morning to everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you very much for joining us on this lovely Thursday. We are right in towards the fag end of the monsoon, and I hope everyone's having a great time. Today we have a very interesting session, and we have a hybrid webinar that is there. The session is chaired by none other than Mr. Joshua Ebenezer, who's been a great support to trade in the challenges that we have. And today's session is going to be a guidance session of handling queries at the time of handling exports and imports. We've seen in the recent past where there has been a big challenge, at the grassroots level on queries. So BCBA has organized a session to ensure that we are able to clear all your difficulties and we are able to address all the queries. So thank you very much for joining. I will now hand it over to Sanjeev sir. Take it further.
Kindly check the video.
Yeah, 1 minute. 1 minute on. It's off. 1 minute.
Good morning, friends. Today we are going to dwell in a topic of great significance, guidance session on handling export and import queries during custom clearance. I want to express my gratitude to our President, Sri Dushan Mulani ji, for picking out such a vital subject. Bills of entries and shipping bills are the lifeline of any custom broker's office. For us, they are key to our livelihood. For exporters, they mean catching the earliest vessel of flight. And for importers, they are tied to the production and sales commitments. We all aim for a smooth flow of documentation, but hurdles can arise. Sometimes we face queries during assessments or examination. These queries can cover a range of aspects from classification, valuation, and declarations to allied acts like BIS, WPC, EPR, and more. Not to mention the various partner government agencies like ADC, FSI, PQ, AQ, etc. Some among us might be well versed in addressing these queries, but many others could be facing challenges and seeking guidance from superiors, importers, or exporters. Addressing these queries to the satisfaction of the customs officer demands an understanding of products, regulations, acts, and more. Today's webinar brings us the expertise of renowned consultant, Sri Joshua Ebenezer ji. He is here to share insights and explain crucial aspects of handling such situations. Sri Joshua ji has meticulously chosen essential topics that will arm you with the knowledge and confidence needed to address these queries. With that, I'd like to invite our President, Sri Dushan Mulani ji, to share a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Friends, very good morning to all of you. Before I start, we would like to felicitate Sri Joshua Ebenezer with a bouquet of flowers. I would request our Senior VP and Vice President, Mr. Vinayak, to please give him a bouquet of flowers and honor him. Thank you. Friends, knowledge is power. आज के जो हमारे कस्टम क्लियरेंस के सिनेरियो में हम लोग जब भी वेदर अपना क्लाइंट हो, कस्टमर हो, कस्टम्स हो या तो कोई भी पार्टिसिपेटिंग गवर्नमेंट एजेंसीज जैसे FSSI, ADC वगैरह हो, आज हमें जब हम डॉक्यूमेंट प्रेजेंट करते हैं वो कितना महत्व का है whether export हो या import हो, उसमें उसके rules, regulation, laws क्या है, important public notices क्या है, एक हमारा गन पाउडर है, जो गन पाउडर लेके ही हम लोग आगे बैटल में जा सकते हैं, and put up the right content thereafter. All of us, as Joshua tells us, we are frontline warriors like soldiers. So we have to be armed with right ammunition also to represent correctly in a positive sense, I'm saying. And this is where I won't take much of time. हमें जोशुआ जी पूरा पहले एक्सपोर्ट पे हम लोग इसका एड्रेस करेंगे, उसके बाद इंपोर्ट्स पे होगा. तो मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है जो भी क्वेरीज रहेंगे हम लोग आप पूछते जाएंगे, इंटरैक्टिव बेसिस पे करेंगे एंड लेट्स टेक इट अहेड. Thank you all for being here. Thank you my entire managing committee, office bearers, secretariat for this wonderful arrangement. Thank you.
It's presentation. Thank you, BCBA. Good morning to everyone. Apologies for the delay and technical glitches. And I thank you for this honor for inviting me to speak to the frontline warriors this morning. And let's put it in the same way. So this morning, I've been interested to talk to the warriors who are just staring at me. I don't know about the people who are virtually watching, but at least you should smile. You have reason to smile. And in my presentation, how I'm trying to explain, I'm not going to teach you anything because you have hands full of practical experience. And your members from Dushyant and team sat with me and they explained to me, we had hours of discussion. Is it possible in this next 1 hour's time that you are today here and you will be here today? It will never happen. If I give you an assurance that after listening to me, you will become Superman, that is not going to practically happen. All of us have come from different walk of life, but we are all seated over here. But today what we are going to see, something very relevant, as though the subject says export related queries, import related queries. But I would like to show you one picture on the screen. Tej, can you just make it full? What do you see on the screen? Can anybody respond? You see a chain, right? All right. What is written on top? It is a solid metal chain, okay? And it's not breakable. But if you see here, there is one link which has a crack. What is written there? Your strength is, maybe we can have 100 links connected and we say that we are a solid chain. But if one link is broken, the strength of the chain is only what the one link has. You understand? Aapko samajh mein aa raha hai? Let me put it in a different way. All of you are athletics. I see a lot of people are athletics like Vinayak and so many people. We have seen relay in Olympics. Relay, okay, very good. So assume 4 into 100 meters. The first one, who do you bring in your mind? The gold medalist in relay, P.T. Usha. So when you have people to take a lead, amazingly they have clocked second, third, but the fourth one unable to run. You're a super cop team or you're a down team? Absolutely right. Now, your bosses put in 40 years of experience, having established offices across India, globally, invested, handling Fortune 500 clients or the best clients who give you better yields. Now, at the end,
if they see something like this, a weak link, when they went and spoke to the client, they spoke knowledge, they got the business. But when they want to deliver the goods, at that point in time, when customs is asking a question, and if that link is weak, probably they are occupied on transactional related activities and they don't have enough time. You think it will make a good relay, that whether you will be able to win? How many of you say, yes, still we will win? Even 75% winning is also winning. Why nobody is speaking? Aapko samajh mein aa raha hai? Today, your association picked up a weak link and they said, if this link is strengthened, probably I will be able to win the battle. That is what Dushyant Bhai has said, all frontline warriors. So the people who sit in the classroom, they can create strategy, but the frontline warrior need to be handling the show. So if a frontline warrior needs to handle a show, what is required for him? If I ask everyone, please stand up and tell me, what are your positive things and negative things? You will say, I have a good company, I have good salary, I have good conveyance, I have everything. But negative things, you will say, every time when I have queries, what I am doing, routine queries, specific queries, something which even I don't even understand the question. I pass on those information to my office. And my office, what they will do? What response they will give? Are kuch bhi karo yaar, aaj clear karna padega. What I have said, query. ये तो BAS का query है, ये तो IPR का. अरे वो छोड़े यार, आज शाम को 5 बजे मेरे को माल चाहिए. Sorry, I want the goods to be cleared at 5 o'clock. Trucks have been arranged. Who is the AO? The next question is, what is the query is not there? Who is the AO? Or who is the officer? Do I have any connection? See how we went ahead in a different way. Imagine here I wanted to caution you. There is one person who gets up 5 o'clock in the morning and he does all his routines and he sits, opens his book and he reads. You know why? He thought early days, if you file 100 shipping bill, all shipping bills will come to an officer. Invariably, he will have an access to question. Now, 80% of shipping bills are getting through RMS. So, which means my business is already lost. 80% of my transaction is not coming to me. It is system is taking care and it's going out. I am left with 10% or 20%. What will I do? What I missed in 80%, I wanted to. Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I put a microscope and I'm going to check. If I have 10, 100, I will check superficially. But if I have only few, I will check in a deep level. When I started checking, I also need to have knowledge. So that officers, day in and day out, sitting and reading, discussing amongst themselves. You see, there were some rules created in 1986, which was sleeping. Hazardous goods, transboundary. Heard about this word? 1986, which was sleeping. Suddenly that rules became alive now. Have you seen this? Suddenly they said, no, abhi mere ko pollution control mein NOC leke aa jao. What happened to all these years? So what they are doing early morning exercise, thinking how all we can, where are the rules, how we can bring those rules up and start putting queries. Earlier, for many decades, query means put up catalog. Majority of the query means put up catalog. Then open and inspect, select to package, verify description, or draw sample. This is the query that we have seen. Second-hand machinery has a pattern. Today, query is like thesis. Every time when an officer raising a query, you can learn something from that, which means he is doing his homework. Apart from that, the artificial intelligence supporting him. You ask this, you ask this. So he is armed with one side, a system-based approach, another side his own intelligence and his own team. They are discussing day in and day out and coming and sitting to find fault. Our side, what we are doing in the morning? Hey, baat karo na. What time you'll all get up? 9 o'clock? Because you have reason to say, रात को 1 बजे मैं पहुंच गया घर पे. So you have reason to say 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So once you get up, first thing is you have to commute. Will I catch the train? Will I catch the bus? Once you get into the train, you think that you can open the book and read? The officer can read. Why? He is sitting in a car. You are sitting in a public conveyance. So you can't read. Ghar pe pad sakte hai? No, you can't read. What time you are reaching home? You have absolutely no time to read anything. Forget about reading. Do you have time to discuss with your counterpart sitting in office, headquarters, your documentation team? Are you meeting them regularly? Going and sitting and saying, "Arey, what all the new laws have come? What we should do?" We are always, there is a dushman relationship. What I speak, you don't understand. What he speaks, you don't understand. Always, "Arey, wo to pagal hai yaar." He doesn't understand anything, you know. We always have, how will you go and speak with him? Sunday you will not go. Saturday, 6 days you are working. Now you are facing Goliath. You know Goliath? David and Goliath, correct. David and Goliath. You are having 5 pebble stones and 1 caterpillar. Goliath is having completely armored. So we are going to fight every day the armored Goliath with pebble stones. Will it work? It has worked in Bible, but practically will it work? Now today, if this is our realization, what we must do? Because I always acknowledge the best intelligent community in the world is custom broker community. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? The best intelligent community is broker community. Because you can talk about fabric, you can talk about equipments, you can talk about car, you can talk about any product which other people cannot do. You check. This is how our systems are working. So, you see in the screen, आपको देख सकते हैं इधर 20 साल का पहले we get one notification through email. That notification will take copy and we'll read from top to bottom. We make underline. We keep it in a file. आपको experience है ऐसा? आपको ड्रायर में एक फाइल है, उसका अंदर एक ICCL का एक नोटिफिकेशन आया, वो रखना पड़ेगा. और PD, करेक्ट ना? एक पब्लिक नोटिस आएगा तो प्रिजर्व कर सकते हैं. आपको मालूम पड़ेगा कौन सा लाइन में क्या लिखा है, कौन सा बुक में, you know, you will tell page wise. You don't even need to be challenged on that. 20 years back, there were drops of information. We could able to absorb those drops of information and we could reciprocate, meaning if 1 liter water poured into a plant, that got a yield. What you see, there is a growth. There are beautiful flowers. There are leaves. All right. Now today, how information is flowing? Boss, I will tell you, how many groups that we have, which one to open, which one we should miss, we don't know. Everybody wants to forward. Say, for example, one judgment has come. Today, Supreme Court has given one judgment. At least I will get from 5-6 sources. You may get from more sources because you are connected, more groups. Okay. Same information. The mentality of people is, what I have, I need to give. Only Indians can do this. What a gifted people that we are. What we have to share. Have you seen any one person holding that information with them? Ab dekha hai kabhi bhi? If there is a 5 minutes video, how much time you will watch? 5 seconds. Next action is forward. So what you need is only 5 seconds. Are you an intelligent community or no? Other people need 5 minutes to watch and then to decide whom it will be useful. हम लोग को क्या चाहिए? खाली 5 सेकंड बस. 5 सेकंड में क्या कर सकते हैं? वो इनको देना पड़ेगा, ये उनको देना पड़ेगा, ये तो डॉक्यूमेंटेशन का बिजनेस है, और ये तो मेरा मैनेजर का भेजना पड़ेगा, ये मेरा मालिक का भेजना पड़ेगा, बस इतना है ना. हम कभी पड़ेगा. When did you open it? मैं रात को पड़ेगा, जाने के टाइम, गाड़ी में जाने के टाइम, गाड़ी में बैठेगा तो and every day that we come back and we say that we wanted to fight with the warriors, we want to fight with customs officer. Not fight means literal fight, we want to deal with them. So when officer, see, is this reality? Anybody differing from this view? Perfectly right. So how do we handle this situation? Phone calls, WhatsApp, one from importer, one from exporter, one from office. We don't know how many things that I need to carry, which is to be prioritized. So if you see, we are every day pursuing many things. If you miss, duty interest will come, truck delay, detention, demurrage, office may. See, sometimes you may like certain clients. You wanted to help them. So you will leave this CFS and you'll go to another CFS after 5 kilometers. जा सकते हैं ना, because उनको थोड़ा link है. Link मतलब थोड़ा you have some kind of a, what do you say, Vinayak? Bonding. You have certain bonding. You will take that effort. So you prioritize. You have a lot of information. But on the course, what we need to do, if we need to be successful, we need to start pursuing a few things very intentionally. Otherwise, every day 10, 20 will be poured onto you, and at a point you will give up. Which we don't, the association aim is to make sure those people who are watching me online virtually, as well as those who are seated in the hall, why did this association arrange a meeting like this? It is not a seminar. It is not a session where I'm going to teach you, because you know a lot of things, correct? But this is a session which is going to open your eyes to see something which usually you don't see. समझ गए आपको? Shall we, how do we structure today's discussion? Your Vinayak and team gave me a lot of queries. And they said, these are all general queries. Roj itna query aa raha hai. But they said, okay, see, there are certain things we can manage. There are certain things where we need to get some practical understanding, how to read and understand these queries. So we have just put in something like Paresh Bhai, Samaruti, and a lot of people, they have just shared from export, from their experience. So these are the things in the very next 40 minutes, we will be addressing this. Okay, is this clear? So doesn't mean that we will not answer other questions. If you have anything, please, you can write it in the chat box or you can ask me. But primarily we try to address these key points. Then we move to imports. In imports, we will also address these queries, which you are seeing in the flash. After 12:30 to 1 o'clock or 1:15, we will close it. And then we will take question answer. All right, are you clear? Everybody ready? Okay. Still you are so tight. Smile. I will only get energy when you smile. Okay, all of you smile. Smile means I should see your teeth. Like this. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Nice. So, there are many things you cannot control. There are many things you cannot control. How do you say this, Vinayak, in Hindi? There are many things that we cannot control, but there are little things that we can control. Focus there. How do you say it in a very beautiful Hindi? Concentrate. Oh, no, just literal translation. Who can do the translation? Just say what you can't control. You understand? There are large things. Can you go and tell a customs officer to come to office at 9 o'clock? Nahi kar sakte. Can you do? Can you tell the transport driver, I need to go to customs at 10 o'clock? Drive fast. You can't. Can you tell your office boss to give you double the salary? Everybody are laughing. Okay, Diwali mein I want 5 times incentives. Can you go and ask? You can't ask. So there are certain things aapko, you cannot do anything. Then why are you focusing there? Kabhi bhi aapko time milega to aaj Diwali mein mereko incentives chahiye, mereko ye chahiye, wo chahiye. So you focus a lot of your discussion. You come and sit and talk about Modi. You come and sit and talk about Manipur. You talk about America. All that is good. But where we need to focus is very little thing there. Can you see the small portion? Red, what do you say? Red. How do you say red in Hindi? Lal color. So this is what you need to focus. Kar sakte? In the next 45 minutes, we are not going to see here. We are going to see somewhere which can be controlled. Which can be controlled. There we will see. All right. So one of the first thing is, maybe the order may be up and down. Don't worry about it. IPR. I was discussing with somebody. Hey, Abhi IPR mein they are putting queries in exports. I have not heard in my life IPR enforcement is coming on exports. What kind of a, now who's putting query? Who is putting query? Customs. Okay. IPR matlab intellectual property right. Matlab kya hai? Dell ka PC, Dell manufacturing 1 lakh PCs. If you are smuggling it, then if you're selling it, what happens? You're infringing their properties, right? So customs ke paas ek law tha. WTO mein trips karke, we don't want to go there. So there is a law which says, if anybody is smuggling such goods, please tell us. We will stop them. This is sab log ka malum hai ye rule, hai na? IPR enforcement rule 2007. Import mein everybody are familiar. But queries are coming, exports, IPR exports. So have you ever heard about this? Remember, officers are doing good homework. So what they are doing is, if you see your Customs Act, section 11, I have flashed it in the screen. Clause N and U, which says the protection of patents, trademark, are able to use that pump in domestic appliance or industrial, that is fine. But if the same pump
Please wait for a minute. We are getting everything.
has the capability to be used in military also. Simple. What is this? Okay. Where we can use this? In office. What will be the temperature? It will be a normal room temperature or air conditioned environment, right? Okay. Now, if I want to use this in Sahara Desert, Iraq war zone, Afghanistan war zone, is this okay? Because there will be rain, there will be cold climate, there will be dust. So, kya chahiye? You have to have a different capability to use this. So, we call it as military grade laptop. Suna hai aapko? Military grade. Matlab, it's rough and tough. It has a lot of additional features. Dust will not go inside. Pani mein kaam kar sakte hai. Desert mein kaam kar sakte hai. 50 degree ka upar heat jayega to kaam kar sakte hai. Ye to melt ho jayega na. ICGC sab melt ho jayega. So the special grade. So this is what known as dual use. ठीक है? ठीक है, अभी आपको हाथ में watch है. Everybody has watch. What is the difference between your watch and the military watch? Even if you throw it down from 100 feet, it will not break. So which means it is. So likewise, we can keep on adding many products: camera, phone, equipment, device, chemicals, so many things. Abhi dekho, chemicals. You use certain chemicals in perfume. You all use perfumes? A lot of chemicals are being used. Very good. That same chemical can be used for chemical weapons also. So which means that is dual use. Ek product, do jagah pe use kar sakte hai. So which means as long as it is in the safe hands, no problem. But if it goes to terrorist, it is a problem. So the government wants to control that. How do you control? So there is one international body. That body, all these people have become members. That agreement ka naam hai Wassenaar. WASSENER. Wassenaar. Wassenaar is Austria mein ek jagah ka naam hai. ठीक है, इतना है. Confusion mat kar dijiye. Wassenaar arrangement, agreement. So India is also signatory to Wassenaar arrangement. So anytime when we export, आपको foreign trade policy में category 1A, category 1B, category 1C, कभी भी पढ़ा है तब? ठीक है. So category 1B and C are chemicals, and they have given some countries, 40 countries. If your goods are going to that country, अरे मेरे को problem नहीं. क्यों problem नहीं? I know, मेरे को मालूम है कहां से कहां जा रहा है. So I know that I'm sending this from Mumbai to Delhi. 100% मेरे को मालूम है. Once you receive it, you will say, मालूम है, goods received, correct? But when you go to another side, if it is going to an unknown side, how will you know? See, for example, North Korea करके एक country है. कितना लोगों को मालूम है? That president need everything. But America said, I will not give you anything. ठीक है, simple equation. उनको सब चाहिए. America says, I will not give you anything because sanction. ठीक है, but I will tell you one thing. You will be surprised. He gets everything. How? He is living like a royal life. See, Mercedes car, armored car. SCOMET prohibits. You cannot export armored car to North Korea. Forget about North Korea. You can't export this without a license. Correct? That's a rule. But he is having 3 cars. When he goes in a convoy, and Mercedes is thinking, hey, unko haath mein kaisa mera car gaya tha? Samajh gaya? This is how meticulously they are planning. So, this is car. Like that, so many goods are going. Na? So, we have to have some control. That is why this SCOMET has come. So, the question which was asked to me, 40 countries, no SCOMET, because there is no chance of diversion. He is also a member of Wasner. I am also a member of Wasner. So, when I route export to them directly, no problem. But the challenge is, I am not exporting the goods directly to that country because it is a landlocked, which means no seaport. So I send it through Hamburg. From Hamburg, it is going there. So what do I do? So as long as the destination country which receives, it is covered in this agreement, no SCOMET requirements are there. But same country, it's for chemicals, no SCOMET requirements. You need to only intimate. License is different, intimation is different, correct? But if you are sending, let's say, a different computer to the same country, then license required. It is only exempted for those specific countries, specific chemicals. Okay, that's about this thing. And I got a note, IPRMA, what they lost the transmission. So I have to show that transmission again. It's very simple. IPRMA, all of us have a perception. IPR enforcement rules are only for imports. And whenever there is a gray market import comes, we have to stop it by way of intimating customs, or so motor customs also can do this work. But when this was spoken for exports, people were alarmed. So I'm showing you a provision where this notification very clearly says, if there is a violation happens for 139 and 81 of Trademark Act, then again customs is the correct body to control and ask for it. So you should not get alarmed. And it is limited to only section 113 of Trademark Act as well as section 81 of Trademark Act. Only for those, I'm not going to talk about what is 139 or 81, but to give you an idea, this is how it is there. Now as a broker, as a field staff, what is in it for me? When there is a query, your importer will ask you the question, अरे क्या पागल है यार, export में क्यों IPR का query डाल रहा है? So how would you respond? So if you have this information, you should take a screenshot and you should send it to them, or you should equip. This is how our knowledge will be gained. Oh, I see 2 people are sleeping comfortably, virtually, not here. I can see virtually also. I have a Google Glass. Can you see this? Dekho. I can see all people who are sleeping, everybody. Okay, very good. So good that one person woke up here. Thank you. You know why? He went home early morning, 2 o'clock. Yaar. Tired human being, right? Okay. So what you see in the screen, SCOMET के लिए separate sessions are there, videos are there. ये तो 1 घंटा 1.5 घंटा के लिए एक सेशन है. नीरव से पूछेगा तो आपको लिंक भी मिल जाएगा. पूरा वॉच कर दीजिए, आपको नॉलेज जरूरत है. ठीक है? Export valuation problem. Have you faced export valuation problem? First of all, valuation, that word comes in, immediately our mind says, oh, मेरे को नहीं है, ये import आदमी के लिए. Correct ना? SVB, मेरे को नहीं है, ये export के लिए. Export, sorry, import के लिए. Export पे कुछ भी जा सकते हैं. Valuation तरफ से only drawback that time. Correct ना? General feeling like that, right? Okay. How many of you know, at least in this conference room, I think more than 50 people are sitting here. How many of you know there is a export valuation rule here? Please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many of you know there is an import valuation rules? Very good. So import valuation rules we know. Export के लिए valuation rules है. Why export need a valuation? मेरे को पैसा चाहिए ना. We need dollar ना. So why should I bother about value? Whatever you wanted to export, you export it na. Huh? Money is coming in. So my balance of trade, I'll become rich now. Why do I need? Sarji, beautiful. We should give a round of applause. The word I never expected. First, we'll give a clap. Yeah, knowledge, yeah. Money laundering. I asked this question to many people. Nobody uses word laundering. Perfect word, which means you understand the trade. Laundering. I cannot explain how laundering happened. There are from Gujarat, not Dushan Bhai, somebody else from Gujarat are expert in doing this. And it was reported in the newspaper. I hope you can connect the dots. Okay, now coming back here. Export valuation rules have been notified. Okay, imports mein valuation rules 1988 tak 8 se shuru ho gaya, but exports ke liye 2007 mein aaya. Okay, so we have a valuation rule. So what you see, all of you, this is the valuation rules. Okay, what I'm showing is, yes, valuation rules. Now, after valuation rule, half of us has not seen the valuation rules also. There is a valuation rules instruction issued to the department and field formation by way of a circular. Okay. Everyone who are there in exports, सब लोग का at least एक बार देखना पड़ेगा. आप करेगा आज? इसका खाली 10 मिनट चाहिए. आप घर जाइए, ये रूल को लो, पढ़ना पड़ेगा एक बार. ठीक है? You won't understand, that is different. But एक बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा. I'll just give you some excerpts from that. Okay, this is the rule. Now, rule 3, what it says, even in export, what I declare, transaction value is the value to be taken. For example, 100 rupees is the goods value. I am keeping a markup of 5 times. I am selling at 500 rupees. कितना में कर दिया मैं 100 में. अभी मैं मेरा इनवॉइस कितना में जा रहा है 500. Is it right or wrong? Why wrong? Overvaluation. Who said it is overvaluation? कौन बोला आपका overvaluation करके? अरे यार मैं 100 का खरीद के if I don't keep any profit, what is the मजा है transaction करने के लिए? मेरे को थोड़ा पैसा चाहिए ना? You said wrong, excess valuation. So who said it? कौन बोला आपको? As per the present market value. This is on the higher side. So what is present market? Let's talk about an air condition. Okay. Present market value of air conditioner is 50,000 rupees. If you are buying at what rate you would have bought? 10% lesser than that you would have bought. So if you are selling this to somebody in Iraq, sorry, Iraq, some good Dubai, somebody you are selling this. How much profit that you will keep? Why not 100%? Okay, so what you're saying is, you are able to tell that looking into the air condition, this is not the market value. Tomorrow I'm exporting some chemicals, white color powder. White color powder, it's a narcotic substance. Okay, 100 gram, uska market value kitna hai? Huh? How do you know? Which market? So there should be a threshold, na? So simply for everything that you cannot say market. Now what you need to do, all of you, saath mein padho. Okay, you all can read English. This is Indian English. You know the difference between Indian English and English English? Indian English is easy to understand. Foreign English, very difficult to understand. So what is this? It is also a foreign English, correct? Correct. Okay, very good. Now you understood? All right, please read, sir. Who want to read? Please. जोर से पढ़ो. Up. Second row. Bharat.
3 of the said also stipulates that the transaction value for exports when the buyer and seller are
So even when it is related, even you are my uncle, what value should be accepted? The transaction value should be accepted. Point number 1. Then directly go to what is related. Export relationship is governed by import rules. So you have to read import valuation rules to understand what is exports. Okay, next, we'll go to the next slide. Now, Bharat, read the red color portion.
It is hereby instructed that
No,
when
either.
where the transaction value is not accepted, the valuation of the export goods shall be done by application of rules for the same.
So if I wanted to doubt this value, I need to reject the value. Export me. If I reject, I need to refix it. So refixation cannot come arbitrarily. अरे इसको 5% load करो. ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. Or you cannot reduce it. You have to follow the rules sequentially. Rule 4 to 6. Okay. Now, Bharat, next line.
It's hereby instructed that when an investigation or inquiry is undertaken to determine whether or not the declared value should be accepted, export consignment.
So first and foremost thing, what I was told, officers are stopping export consignments 2 days, 3 days, 4 days on wheel goods. First, you open this and go and tell them, you have no right to hold my goods or stop. Today, what you are doing, if he raises a query, you are sending this back to office. Office is sending back to exporter. And then exporter is communicating something back. This is taking time. Now, what you should do, Dushan Bhai said, no, from your bag, you take out one AK-47. So you just go and show this to him very clearly. Very good. Then, so which means goods will not be detained. If goods are not detained, we are not having penal implications, right? Okay. Bharat, last slide.
Consignment shall be detained for the reason of doubts regarding valuation without the approval of the jurisdiction.
So what you can do, if inspector, superintendent, and officer, if he is rejecting, you should immediately go to who? Abhi solution mil gaya. You don't write to office. You take this public notice, you take this circular and directly go to commissioner. Your officer in the CFS is doing like this. Please instruct him. You are the jurisdictional officer. Allow, make him to move these goods. Okay. Right. In case if he has any doubts, how have you ever received a query memo from export officer that I'm stopping these goods for this reason, what the law says? Please read it. Because we are not asking, they are not giving. Import may, if they are not giving speaking order, we are putting reminders. And we are saying section 17.5 us insisting. And even if you're not giving speaking order, Commissioner Appeals is rejecting, sending the file back. On exports may, first of all, we don't even know that we have the right to do that. Boss, you have the right. Okay, Bharat, read. While
Or truth or accuracy of the declared value in terms of rule 8, the proper officer shall issue a query memo specifying reasons of such.
boss, if I say something to you, you might be thinking, अरे ये तो पुराना का rule, 2007, अभी कैसा चलेगा? I will prove it to you now, and you will take this as a fantastic weapon. I'll prove it to you now. Okay. So if there is no query memo, he cannot. Right. Okay. Then underlined word, goods will. Thank you, sir.
Will be released for export against a simple undertaking after.
If at all there is a query, you give a simple undertaking and release the goods. This is by law acceptable. I will prove this now. Quickly. It is also expected to check deliberate. That is what we say now. This is a responsibility of an officer. Overvaluation of export of goods, misutilization of value-based export incentives. In those days, we had VABAL, QBAL. You heard about it? Value-based advance license, quantity-based advance license. There are history. People have inflated the value. They sent bricks. There are so many things. DRI got all. No, we are not doubting about that. Okay. So the officer also has a right to question you if he has a doubt on the declared value. Now I'm giving a live case. In which year that we are in now? August 2023. What you are seeing on the screen is Sestat Chennai, July 2023. So I'm not going back 10 years back. What the Sestat has ruled over here is the appellant filed 7 shipping bill and the total drawback amount is 7 lakhs. The officer said, no, ye jada hai value. I wanted to refix the value. So he refixed the value to how much? 1,72,000. This is a fact. Now what happened? The citation I have already given you. आपको interest है तो आप उधर जाके पूरा case ला पढ़ सकते हैं. Internet में है, ठीक है? I am giving only the. So what the facts are saying, though the appellant had been informed about the refixation value, that is from 7 lakh to 1 lakh reduction, officer has told him, but The reason for reduction in the transaction value has not been communicated. Was this a fantastic tip? You have doubt. Okay, what doubt you have? Communicate to me in writing. First, I told you there should be a written communication. Second, I told you he need to tell you why he is reducing that value. On what basis? I have proof. Then it is okay. So he has not done the communication. Okay. And he has done the work. So the decision by Madras has started. Bharat, the unilateral reduction in the transaction value of export goods by the valuation committee is not legally sustainable. So which means any officer or any committee who is not giving you a reason, but still reducing the value, which is not acceptable by the law. The learned adjudicating authority, that means the department, has categorically stated that he has adopted the value fixed by the valuation committee without fixing. So he says, "Sab, mere ko malum nahi. Valuation committee has fixed the value, so we adopted it." That's what the SDR said, rejected. So yeah, appeals allowed. Valuation, may you understood? Okay, now I need to also show you. These are the reference case laws. If you are interested, read that. Okay. There are quite a few things we can just skip. May not be that people are getting confused about Make in India. Oh, it's important, is it? Okay. Make in India stamp that needs to be. See, I gave you a indication sometime back. Trademark Act may that we need to say that this is my trademark, my country. There is an insistence. That needs to be complied. Okay, in the purpose of not only IPR. This information are there in the mind. There is no other legal document available today which can demand you to say that you need to put a Make in India. If your buyer in the destination country wants this non-preferential origin confirmation, you should do it. There are two things. Even yesterday there was a notification, trade notice had come. Non-preferential origin, government is pushing to make everything online. That is different. Don't get confused. But that one is preferential origin. What is preferential origin? Goods are of Indian origin goods. So we give a certificate. Anything other than that is known as non-preferential origin. There is no mandatory requirement for you to fulfill it unless your destination buyer, your buyer in USA specifically says, "Merko ye Make in India dalke de dijiye." If there is a request, you do it. But by default, customs cannot insist. If they are insisting, please tell them which law, which public notice has been issued to the trade for this purpose. You can ask and you can feel free to approach me. I will respond to you. Okay, right. Restriction and misrouted goods. Quite often in exports, goods of non-origin goods are coming inside. There is one example, very simple. Are we running okay with the time? Okay, very good. You are able to follow me? My Google Lens says one more person is still sleeping in this room. I am not looking there because he will get embarrassed. I am looking here, which means where is the person sleeping? Somewhere here, na? Now you woke up. Very good. I am surprised. In my session also people can sleep. Yes. Why? Because they work late night, not because I am boring. This is a consolation for me. Okay, very good. Please. Okay. Now coming back. Goods coming in, foreign origin goods coming in. See, we have minerals. Everywhere, India has minerals. In South India, there is a company, one day, they took some minerals from a place and they sent it for a sample. The overseas companies found out there are a lot of substance are there. They started exporting it. You know what they done? If they start exporting sand, everybody will know what is this. And they'll get a lot of competitors. So he bought 100 lorries. And he said, I wanted to go and take sand from the riverbed. So he became, over the period of time, sand trader. So he has a shop. He will go and get the sand from riverbed. So people don't suspect. So out of that 100 lorries, 2 lorries are used for smuggling precious sand from a particular location. Nobody understood how meticulously is planned. No competitor can do. If suppose anybody says, "Hey, kone hai? What business is doing?" He is doing sand trading. And these 2 lorries will go in the night to a different place and it will take out some beach sand. And every sand has this item, what I had mentioned in the screen, rutile sand. one container is worth of some XYZ lakhs. Okay. And overnight, he became very rich man. Customs started smelling how he became rich, from where money came. Government can find out, na? Government found out. Finally, it is all coming from this particular Australian client. And they smelt it and they arrested him and they did all the investigation. Then the fact came to light that so many of our natural resources are smuggled out of India by individuals. Okay. So government put a rule saying that nobody can take out beach sand without state trading enterprises, STE. And they have to route it through IR. Rule is there. Nobody is doubting because this has come in 2016. Now, somewhere outside outside country, somebody is importing like a merchant trader. Goods are coming from A destination to India and going to B destination. Now, please tell me, this rule applicable or not applicable? CFS superintendent is saying this is rare earth mineral. SOP follow karna padega, nahi to main adjudicate karega. Now, you as a broker, what will you do? So any restriction, import on export basis, if there are any restrictions, it is not binding. So that is why I had given you this example, para 2.46. So logically, you should think, don't go by item wise. Our law applicable to our goods. Our law applicable to our exports, not somebody else's goods. So if you see some kind of a transshipment, reroutement, sale related, anytime when they say FSA NOC chahiye, ADC NOC chahiye, you should be boldly go and confront them saying that because this is 2.46, which is satisfied, I have not cleared it, it is in the bond and section 69 obligations have been fulfilled. So this is not applicable. So we won this case. So I thought of bringing this to your feedback. All right. Now, we are a reactive community. What is flashed in the screen? Something is going to happen from October 1st. We are in August. Now, operation staff generally, when you get to know, only when a customs appraiser puts a query, then you get to know about it. So my recommendation here, start reading updates, trade updates, and make a note what is going to come. There are a lot of things, as I told you, officers are doing homework. Government is doing homework. And unlog ka case pakadna padega. So they are doing some lot of work. So we should also proactively look into it and advise your clients before. Okay, for that reason. What is this on the screen? If you are handling chemical related items, your CIS number to be put in for this kind of a query. Now suddenly somebody will ask, I am also, this is for 28, 38, 39. You may be importing some 39 chapter related item, say 39, 26, some plastic related item. Whether this is applicable, CIS to be put in. This is how you have to ask question. Blindly, product it's not covered, so I need to ignore it. No, you should write it down. You should internally talk to your team and you should ask this question. 28, 38, what are well-defined chemicals? What are the impurities are mixed? So this kind of a healthy discussion also, operation staff should strike with customs officer as well as with your internal team. So you try and have this kind of a discussion started among yourself to get yourself abreast. Next is drawback. Drawback is a very favorite subject, right? How many of you read drawback rules? Please raise your hands. How many of you have handled a drawback? Nobody. Drawback. No one handled a drawback. Acha, drawback ke liye ek different agent is there, na? Okay. अरे सब लोग एक्सपोर्ट है ना ड्रॉबैक मालूम नहीं अब बोलो ना प्लीज रेज योर हैंड्स आई नो व्हाट इज ड्रॉबैक 1 2 only 2 people ठीक है ओके now next question how many of you read drawback rules I wanted to join one university the name of the university is Mumbai University. But I don't know what is Mumbai University, what are their rules and regulation, and which is the front gate, which is the back gate, I don't know. Where is my classroom, I don't know. After 5 years, I'm saying, see, I got my PG completed from Mumbai University. Oh, everybody say, very good, you finished it from Mumbai University, very good. Are Mumbai University, किधर है Mumbai University? Where is Mumbai University? Can anybody tell me? नहीं यार, कलीना में नहीं है. हाँ? Mumbai Fort गया. So half of the people saying Mumbai University is in Fort, half of the people are saying in Kalina. So which is correct? Huh? See, your enemy is very shrewd. What is there in Fort? When you pass through Bombay High Court, you are seeing Mumbai University. What is there in Kalina? Again, when you pass through that side, you said Mumbai University. But what is inside? Aap dekha rahi. So what happened? Today's meeting is in Mumbai University. The invitation says, which university? Where you'll go to Kalina or you'll go to Fort? आधा लोग फोर्ट के जाके साहब मैं आया इधर किधर मीटिंग अरे कलीना आ जाओ. I did the same thing. One day Dushan Bhai said there is a seminar in Trident. So I went to Trident. The organizers are saying 10 o'clock meeting is starting. Where are you? I said मैं Trident अभी 5 minutes में दूर में. ठीक है okay. When I went inside there is no meeting such. Then I called him. They said sir Trident Nariman Point. 10 o'clock I am the speaker in Trident Nariman Point but I am in BKC. I have no other choice but to make some alternative arrangement. Coming back to the point, drawback is something like that. Have you dealt, you know what is drawback? What is drawback? Simple, forget about whether you dealt it. What is drawback? Drawing back? Bolna, correct. So one gentleman says, what is drawback? Drawing back the duty. So which means there is an element of duty is suffered. So that is section 74. I paid a duty. Now I am getting my refund. That is 74. What drawback in exports that we generally talk? 75. Very good. So where the customs officer is raising problem? Because every value that you export, there is an automatic drawback credit. So 100 rupees value inflated to 5,000 rupees. Drawback will be given on 5,000 or 100. Everybody in this country, when the officer is capable of raising one common query, what is that? Some of you were reflecting that 150%. If it is 100, it cannot be more than 150. Correct? This is a common query. So your value is more. The officer will not ask you anything. Ye zyada hai value. I want to reduce. So what you will go do? You will go and approach in a different way. What I want all of you to take note of. Just read drawback. Okay, first, what is written there? The note.
In progress.
Yes, 1 second. We are just starting the sound.
So here, so what you see on the screen, if you can read, anyone can read other than Bharat, somebody else can read. Can you read? Aap padh sakte? The first one, the left one.
Tariff items and distribution of goods in the said schedule are aligned with the tariff items and distribution of goods.
In the first schedule of Customs Tariff Act 1975 at 4-digit level only. So which means for drawback, you need to have a little bit of knowledge about Customs Tariff Act from the import side. First thing, the description of the goods given at the 6-digit or 8-digit in the said schedule, that means your first schedule, import schedule, are in several cases not aligned with the descriptions of the goods given in the first schedule of the tariff. So which means up to 4-digit it is aligned. So first we need to have that understanding very clearly. Second, when I say on a tariff level or a heading level or a tariff item wise, that is 4-digit, 6-digit and 8-digit, how do I interpret? The rules for interpretation of import will equally apply here. Can you just read? The general rules for interpretation of first schedule shall apply here as well, which means all of export team members definitely should go and learn how to do classification by using rules for interpretation, because that is required. Point number one. Point number two. Drawback schedule, how it looks like. There are 5 tables. 5 tables will be there. Those people who have not seen it, you can open the notification which I mentioned here, 7 of 2020 non-tariff, and you can see how a drawback schedule looks like. Now, an export product accompanied with a tax invoice. An export product accompanied with one tax invoice. Forming part of this information which I'm giving, very, very vital tool for everyone who's listening in web as well as here. Forming part of a project import. You understand what is project import? For project export. So which means I will buy it from somebody. I will have my markup. I will have my project cost. Then I will sell it. It's a turnkey project. It's not a regular movement. A project export, including turnkey export or supplies, for which no figure is shown in column number 5. Which means what is column number 5? Drawback cap per unit. Which means for those item, how can a cap can be given? If I'm regularly exporting a shirt, I will have a cap. But for project export, I will not have a cap. सब लोग का समझ गया ना अभी? ठीक है. For those item, read this very carefully. Shall maximum amount of drawback that can be availed under the schedule shall not exceed the amount calculated by applying ad valorem rate of drawback shown in column number 4. So column number 4 may you have drawback amount. That should not exceed 1.5 times of the invoice value. Is it a news for you? Now, only for project imports, project exports, where column number 5 is blank, then I need to determine my value. That value should not exceed more than 1.5 times. This was taken for general cargo also. And we are also going back and telling all our exporter, officer, objection, because your value is more. For other goods, this is not applicable. So you take this, where it is available? This is available in only one book, which is there in Mumbai University. Correct, na? And you have to book this book 6 months before. If you touch your button in your phone, it is available. Just show it to him. Drawback rules. What is the meaning of this? Then the officer will say, Acha, okay, you also did homework. Okay, I will see in the next case. He will allow you. Correct, na? Lot of things. I need to rush little bit. Sample withdrawal. It's a big challenge. Anytime the officer is saying, you know, the funny examination order, 100% orders and all coming. Whenever there is a sample to be withdrawn, and that sample you can't, and that sample you cannot withdraw in the normal condition. You don't need to obey that order. You can directly go to commissioner and give a letter and get a waiver. Or you can tell the officer to come to my factory and to check for the particular batch. This is possible, and we have done this, and commissioners will approve. Please execute this principles. Okay. I'm stopping with exports. There are a couple of merchant exports. Somebody asked if I'm procuring raw material from Chennai, processing it in Bangalore, exporting it. Customs is not permitting. There is no such law available. We can counter it. It is not a sustainable query. Irrelevant queries, piecemeal queries should not be given. It has to be a consolidated query, which we will see it in imports. Okay, I would like to stop here. How many of you enjoyed export related thing? Any open questions? You can ask 5 minutes, then we'll go to imports. Okay, we'll keep Q&A last then. Okay, thank you, sir. Now we'll go to imports. What do you see? The lower you fall. You want to fall? Have you fallen? Are you thinking that you're going to fall now? I'll tell you, the best interesting profession is, any profession that you go, there is a SOP. There are certain formalities. 1 month it will be exciting. Once you understand everything, then become government office work. Only in customs clearance, every day you have surprises. So every day it keeps your keeps you very exciting. Every day you can learn new things, correct? So sometimes you fall down, sometimes you get motivated. So the drawing, what it's saying, the lower you fall, the higher you will fly. Today, I don't know your situation, your personal situation, your financial situation, your health situation, but don't give up. Don't give up. You are in the best profession. You are in the right track. See, because this is something very, before I start import, I'll just say, the paratroops, when they fly into an enemy country, paratroops means the soldiers who are connected with parachutes. You know what their principle they have been taught? Land and spread. Repeat. 3 times you have to repeat. Land and spread. Very good. First you need to land and then you need to spread. Now I am from India. We are all soldiers, like Dushan Bhai said. Okay. Now we are sent to an enemy territory. You wanted to land in water. You want to land in mountain. You want to land in a plane. That's your wish. But when they push you down from the flight, you never know where you are going to land. You will land anywhere. Yes or no? Yes. Everybody are in? God has sent all of you into this earth and he put you in different location. You wanted to live in Ambani house, but he put you in this level. We have landed here. We should not murmur about it. We should not, why I did not study well, why I did not do well, why I born in this family. You should not worry about. You have landed. Now what is your next job is? Spread. How do you spread? Take your gun and shoot all the enemies. The more you shoot, the more territory you can capture. You don't take your gun, then what will happen? You will not spread. Your territory will not engage. So I joined in this company as customs clerk. I retired in this company as assistant manager. How many of you like this? Japanese company, they do like this. Very brilliant. Japanese then and now are very brilliant. Very, very brilliant. You know why? They will make you so cozy, you don't feel like leaving them. Because they'll make you to sit in office 10 hours. They'll give you work only for 1 hour. You like that, na? When you fiddle with your mobile, they won't bother you. So will you resign the job? So 30 years you will work in a Japanese company. Your territory will not be engaged. You like Japanese company? But they will land and they will spread. They will come to India and they will spread. But they will make sure Indians are there on the same table. You feel very proud about it. When I joined, I was sitting in that cabin. Now after 30 years, I'm still sitting in this cabin. See how great I am. Arey, aapko demand nahi hai yaar. Land and spread. Okay. Now, our job is to spread. So you are an export, I am an import. It doesn't matter wherever. We all have a common point. We need to capture that particular parliament. We need to do what? Whether you land in Navasheva, whether you land in Gateway of India, whether you land in Andheri or Uran, it doesn't matter. All of you need to go to capture the building. You all need to march towards it. So how does it matter whether I started my career as a delivery boy, collection boy? What is that? You know what? Nowadays you don't know. You're all high-tech people, na? We have to go to shipping line to get endorsement in BL, delivery order collection. You like that job? I love that job. Because only in shipping line they will have air condition. So we go there and sit there for 10 minutes. 1989. Have you all born on that time? So I landed in delivery order counter. So then I started moving towards the goal. Where have you landed? Are you still stagnant there? Or are you moving? You are getting pride about saying that, see, I'm in this company for 10 years. That is good, but you should have a vertical move. If you're not vertically moving, problem is not with you. It is with your boss as well as with you as well, right? All right, let's go to import. What do you see on the screen? What do you see on the screen? Even after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, people are struggling to say, what is this? Whether to classify this here or to here. Officer says yes here. Officer is right. No, he is wrong. Trade is right. No, trade is also wrong. So we can say, if we can't explain simply, we don't understand it well enough. That is imports. In exports, we have seen so many things. Oh, that's import. All right. So when I start from here, It looks like, wow, I need to climb up 8,830 foot Everest, I need to climb. It looks like that. But once you are started climbing, you see, this was imports from outside. But once you get in, imports is nothing but an easy walkthrough. Are you with me? Now also you're not smiling, laughing, responding. Okay, very good. All your bosses, all your experienced people are today, they consider themselves as someone who knows the subject, have failed miserably in the past. Can you see that? How many fail? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't look at a lawyer, you don't look at a commissioner, you don't look at a consultant and say, "Arey, unko itna aati hai, mere ko kuch nahi aa raha hai." They all failed. They all failed miserably. That is why they could see some thought. So if you're a beginner, you will also fail. You're in no different boat. All right. So in imports, we will be covering, I was posted with a couple of questions on classification, how to do battery import, dual exports, BAS. So these are the 14 points I'll try to cover. How many of you know Bombay Institute of Science? Sunai nahi? Bombay Institute of Science. Nobody? Bureau of Indian Standards? You know that. So very good. So you all know about Bureau of Indian Standards. Very good. So this is something why I'm saying is, this was there long time back, but nobody understood what is this. We all say PGA, we all say Allied Act, but we don't know what is Bureau of Indian Standard. At least today, at least you should know it is a national body. Boss, I'm very clear. The global, we are party to WTO. What WTO says, look, you take care of your country. You take care of your country. But don't create barricades like quality, standard, and disturb the flow of imports. Point number 1. Point number 2, if there is a concern for health, safety, I have no problem. Please put enough measures. So what they're saying something you don't do, but they're saying as long as it's for defense, security, food, consumption, health, please put some standards, because that is very important. Because without your people, we cannot do anything, right? In that way, they are giving, WTO is given under a trip. Now, we in India, this body is very famous, ISI, we see in water bottle. Can you see here? There is no ISI mark here. It is there, see. All of you have water bottle, you see ISI mark, under which it is written 101.14553. That is IS number, Indian standard number. What it says, what do you call this? Packaged drinking water. It is not mineral water. Mineral water is another category. So they have defined standards. Their job is to define standards. So they have a headquarter in Delhi. They are situated in all the metro cities, and with 20 branches they are across. And the last point is BAS works as WTO TBT, trade barrier entry point. So whenever there is a trade barrier to be done, they will first look up to BAS. Is there any opportunities? Okay. And they will be the point of contact for DBT. Okay. That's not the discussion now. This is something you should know. More than 20,000 products they have standardized till date. They especially focus on 15 sectors, which is very, very important for our economic growth. And there are, all the sectors can apply for BAS voluntarily. But there are certain sectors which they say mandatorily you need to comply. For example, milk powder, water, LPG. These are all mandatory because it's health and safety involved. Okay. So BAS now launched this product certificate scheme in imports. If you see that, product specific schemes are also introduced. Standard marks. In Indian importers, we need to acquire this certification. So how we need to understand? Goods, I am not manufacturing. If I manufacture, I'll apply for BAS voluntarily, or if it is compulsory, I will apply for that. That is okay. But someone else is manufacturing outside India. I need to comply. How it is possible? So if that shipper is serious about sending goods to India, they should apply, or their authorized representative should apply. But so they will have to invite an officer at their expense to their factory, show them and explain, and finally they get a certification. Now, without BAS, can we import? Is BAS there for only finished goods or for components, parts, sub-assembly? The law says very clearly, it is for finished goods. It is for finished goods. For parts, sub-assembly, components, not applicable. So what people are doing, they are importing everything in CKD. In a FAQ, it says for SKD also covered for this category. But CKD, they are importing and they are trying to assemble it here. Best example is toys import. Recently, you would have seen BAS officer going across every shop and they're raiding because every toy is coming into India. All are finished goods toys. It is coming here as CKD, SKD and violating BAS. Now, what will happen? We thought it's an achievement. That same substandard quality, if your child keeps it at mouth, if that paint pigments goes inside and it creates cancer cells, who's at loss? We are at loss. So they wanted to ensure the material, the pigments, what you have used are all approved standard qualities. For example, if there is a toy, the end should not be sharp because kids doesn't know. So it should be contour. That is one of the requirement. ASTM 15 says that is one of the requirement. So if you try to violate it in a different way, it is not going to help us. So there are genuine concerns are also there. How do an operations staff will get an expertise from this? How do we gain expertise from? How do we learn? How do we generate expertise? Frequently, BAS has standards. Okay, all their 20,000 products are already mapped. You can go to BAS website and you can see. Another department giving you a diktat, for example, in the name of quality control order, in the name of, so every now and then you will see, so another quality control order is going to get implemented now for nut bolt. There is a big problem where to classify the nuts and bolts. That itself is a big science. Now for nut and bolt, you need to have quality control order has come, which I will show you. Now, generally, BAS, they issue this kind of a quality control order was implemented through various other departments. If Department of Ministry of Commerce, under which DPIID, they impose these kind of restrictions on the trade to ensure the quality is to be done. Now, you cannot question their sovereignty. We cannot question their intelligence. They might be getting a lot of tips from different sources. We can't say that they are against the manufacturer. We can't say they are against something. We don't know the reason behind it, why government is doing. They are doing it for a purpose. Now they have done it. Now the question is how operation staff needs to understand and handle it. What you see a simple table. What is the first column says serial number. The second column is talking about the standards. IS means Indian standards. The standards are mentioned there. These are the description. Specification for cold rolled steel strip for spring. What you see in the last column is, what is that? Very good, tariff heading. Now, it is saying 72, 11, 29, 50. If you classify item under this particular 2950, automatically your CCR will say comply to quality control order. Correct? Now, you go back to your importer and say quality control order saying that you need to comply. Go and do a registration. Importer says, I need the goods. Now you're asking all those things. What do we do? So we try to explore alternative ways. But what you should understand as a broker, what you should do, instead of simply sending this to other people, try to exercise this. The import product, what I have imported, does it fall under the category? There are two yardsticks which is there in the previous slide. One is this IS specification covers certain category. All of you following me? This IS cover, let's say A, B, C, D are covered. Suppose if you are importing grade X, Y, Z, is it covered? Okay. So grade, there are two differences. Okay. All of you lift your finger like this. Grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say. बोलना 1 2 3 4 5 बोलो A covered ठीक है so okay lift this hand and say 6 7 8 not covered grade not covered but this grade and this grade dono coming under same HS code agree our HS code is not 13 digit Grade wise, it is not changing. Category wise, it is mapped. Now officer is asking, what have you imported? 72, 11, 29, 50. Okay. Is your product covered? Yes, covered. CCR has come. Go and get me BIS registration. Nice, sir, but my grade is not covered. How do you say that? Okay. Now you see, this is what you see, what we are missing, and how we are, very beautifully you can handle this, very beautifully. I'll give you solution also at the end of the, among all the topics, this is the best topic for today. You're all with me? And among all the solutions, BCBA found one solution. Even I was impressed. This morning, I gave that solution to one of my clients. And today you will be impressed. We'll see that. Okay. Nobody's watching your mobile, na? Recording allowed, huh? You can do any bindas, you can do any recording. Okay, come here. Type medium carbon, high carbon, low. All these grades are covered under 73, 11, 29, 50 only in terms of tariff item. But these grades only covered C40, C55, 70, 80. Can you see this? Steel designation. Now, upon reviewing that particular IS code, it becomes evident this standard only specifies specification for certain grades of steel, which may not align with what I have imported. Do you need a consultant to do this? From where did I got this? I got it from the website. I only opened IS, that particular number, this number, IS 27276. It will display all the grade, and then open your mill test certificate and you check which grade that your items are there, compare it, not tallying, go back and you write. Is it hard for us? This was seconded by, there's a case law later on, we are running short of time. Okay, so there is a case law which I had given on what principle that case laws have been interpreted, which you can read it. Okay. So the point of the matter is quality control orders, once it is issued, whether you have such importers or you don't have such importers, at least spend half an hour to understand this. So if you are not dealing with it, you can also help your colleagues practically. Because see, all of you are not running all the time, na? You're all there in the corridor. What you will be talking? Movies and other things, These are the time that you should discuss with others about quality control orders. Arey, mere paas ek quality control order I have studied. Have you seen it? You share the knowledge. This is how your knowledge sharing has to improve. Okay, this is one which is happening. I have taught you how you can do it, for which you don't need your manager. 5 minute ka kaam. All of you have mobile. All of you have. Just put this IS number. It will tell you what is the grade. What grade I have imported. It is not matching. Go back and you say, customs officer will not agree to this. That is a different thing. Okay, customs officer will say, you go to that ministry and get a NOC. Correct? Na? Practical approach. So now this is where I'm going to give a solution also. Wait. Those who are watching in virtual also will get excited after they see the solution, because I got excited when I saw that solution which came out. It works. That's the beauty of that. Customs officer will say, you go to the ministry and get it. Ministry also is prepared to give NOC, but who will go and travel to that ministry and lobby and get this thing done? Who got the time to do it? You have to engage an agent. That agent will ask some XYZ amount. So that is a burden. So in order to circumvent that, the solution what is available here is, I'll come to that. Can you read this? This is solution. Point number 7. Who wanted to read? Madam, you are the only one lady. Please read. Powerful eyes you have.
For conducting workshop for trade partner on BIS matter, they requested BIS officials to share email ID for ranking related to BIS. The BIS officials shared their dedicated official email ID
to the trade representatives for submission of any queries related. I'm telling you, I told you in the beginning itself, this community is very brilliant. Nah? You can even corner an officer, BAS officer will put so many people to run. And your association did something, master stroke. I would say this is a master stroke to put a stop. And they told me within 3 days, they're getting a response. Within 3 days, they're getting a response. Whether 2911, 7311, 2950. My grade is this. Your IS says this. Kindly confirm whether this is covered or not. BAS will give, but you have another challenge. You take this and go to the officer. The officer will say, "Arey, how will I consent with BAS? This was issued not by BAS. This is by MOC, another division. I have to comply to this." You go to Ministry of Mines and Steels, because what you import is steel. Go to that ministry and ask that ministry to give an NOC. Challenges will be there. But when you see this will have persuasive value. The officer at the most what will say, how will I know it is not manipulated? Let me also send a mail. Even he can send a mail from his email ID. The BAS will say, this is not covered. You need some authentication. This is how out of the box thinking should come. Simply taking the query and giving it to the customer is not the solution. Okay, another quality control order for nut bolt have come. So this items when it is imported, and this is a standard, need to be followed. So I would recommend all of you, quality control orders, don't ignore. BAS is a big topic, under which this is how quality control order for IT. How will we understand all these things? I've given you a link, basgov.in, full FAQ. Was these many FAQs are here. If you open one FAQ, part 1 will have 53 questions. Part 2 will have 40. If you read that, it will take half an hour. You will become so powerful and knowledgeable. You will get answers for ADP machine. Computer BAS required or not required? Yes, everything is required except desktop. From where did you get? FAQ clarified it. Like that, you can draw a lot of information from FAQ. If you click that link, you will get host of informations. So you don't need to go and attend Mumbai University to know this. It is there in your fingertips. You choose the FAQ. I'm telling you, if you read FAQ today, by evening, you can go and give lectures to others. To that level, they have clarified it. Check whether your product is there or not, your colleagues' products are there. Okay. Okay. Dual use items. What I had explained sometime back during exports is SCOMET. That is different. But dual use is very, very common in our industry. Correct? Government had a challenge initially, because when you see automobile, all of you drive cars. Okay. All of you have seen cars. Okay. No, because they're all trained computers. Very good. Okay. You've seen cars. When you go and bang your car somewhere, which part gets broke very easily? Which part gets breaks very easily? Your bumper. Bumper has a part number. Let's say 1, 2, 3 is the part number. Manufacturer, let's say, who's the manufacturer? Toyota manufacturer. Now, when Toyota imports bumper, they will import 1 lakh pieces. That 1 lakh pieces will go for OEM manufacturing. Correct? Spare parts, they have some division, spare parts division. That is aftermarket sale. Anybody who insurance claim, they also need to provide. That bumper they will import, that will go to this market. The cost of 1 lakh import bumper, same part number, will be 100 rupees for our understanding. The cost of this bumper, painted bumper, will be 150 rupees. Same part number, same supplier, same. Customs officer has 2 bumper. He will say, hey, you are importing this one for 150. This one I will increase another loading. So this confusion in automobile industry was very predominantly prevailing. So government has issued a circular saying that automobile industry, it is inevitable. You have to accept. That is done away with. Old story. Now, what you are seeing on the screen, dual use item are very commonly coming, especially pharma, non-pharma. If it is for pharmaceutical use, you need to go through a route, ADC, NOC, pharma compliance needs to be done. If it is non-pharma, same item. For non-pharma, all you need to have is an evidence. Maybe it is not meant for pharma labeling. So if you are able to distinguish these two, the government has very clearly clarified in the SWIFT window. That is what exactly I had put in on the screen, which you can read it yourself. Okay. Anybody wants to read? Anyone doing dual items? Is it clear? Pharma, non-pharma, or particular industry or a non-particular industry, you have to distinguish. All government is asking is, how will I know? For me, everything is pharma. If you say that it is not for pharma, you prove it. You give me evidence. If you're able to provide that evidence, it is exempted from that compliance. All right. Piecemeal queries. The word piecemeal is installment, right? We can long back, when I say in 1989 or during those times, for logistics purpose, you cannot import one machine completely in one ship or one because before container days, it is all break bulk, passenger vessel will carry, some of the parts will come through air cargo. So there are a lot of difficulties. One machine has to be transported in multiple, but if you have EPCG benefits, EPCG benefit is given for one full machine. But what you are importing in air cargo is 50%. Another 20% coming in ICD, another 30% coming in. But I want EPCG. How will I get EPCG? All customs is saying, then and now, common sense, give me a bond. Give me a bond, undertaking. Clear it under PD. This you clear it under PD, this you clear it under PD, all three cleared under PD. Now bring all the bill of entries together and show me your catalog, show me your parts purchase order. Give me proof that all three put together makes the finished goods. Take the benefit, I'll finalize it. Easy to understand? This is underlying concept. So when you get piecemeal, don't get alarmed. In EDA system, there are certain cumbersome process where prevailing. How will I put 1 of 2, 2 of 2, 3 of 3? All these things are now settled. Okay. Piecemeal, piecemeal queries, I am talking about piecemeal. Anyway, I'll complete that. Okay. So whenever that you have piecemeal shipments, the author of that thing is from Chennai Customs, Madras Customs. 91 of 87, there was a public notice. That was seconded by Mr. Subhash Agarwal. There are 2 public notices, which I will show it to you. So piecemeal imports at any point in time, it should not be a problem for the group staff, as well as shed staff, as well as for documentation staff. Okay. Now here what we are saying is queries. Queries. We are generally in the faceless assessment. We are seeing, officers are empowered with 3. I don't want to repeat everything what is happening. All of you are know about it. You are familiar with it. Is there a diktat from the government that you should not raise query like this? It should be a comprehensive query. That means don't say first time put up catalog, second time put up MSDS, third time put up COA. Don't say that. If you have a query, put everything together at one shot. Do we have some diktat? That's what we are seeing. Circular 45 of 2020 very clearly says queries should not be raised piecemeal manner. And who's telling to who? The government circular. The board is telling to the field formation. And to the extent possible, multiple and repeated queries are to be avoided. Multiple and repeated queries are to be avoided. This, I have done a lot of exercise for many clients, okay, for many years. Everybody are allergic to queries. Always they blame customs. Always they blame customs. Easy, na? I never get queries, but nowadays I'm getting queries. But we need to do one introspection from our side. Take last 6 months queries. Take last 1 year query. Put it in an Excel sheet. And then you plotted who is actually responsible for that query. Sometimes you uploaded it in e-Sanchit, but still officer forgot to look into it. You write officer. Sometimes you fail to upload certain information, you write customs broker. Then you sort it and see how many queries have been arised because of your fault. Try to rectify that. And then you do an analysis after 6 months. I am telling you on records, we have resolved queries. We have resolved. Now officers are unable to raise a query. Because everything what he is raising, I am anticipated and we have uploaded in e-Sanchit. We have not given room. So whether it is facilitated, it will get through. If it is non-facilitated, the officer will not. This is how a broker needs to think. We should not be reactive, but we should be proactive. Okay, now we will read this circular. The principal commissioner shall regularly monitor and review the queries to ensure this. Now, you may say, no, they don't do all these things. They are reviewing it. There are systems, they are doing it. Whether they are doing it or not, we supposed to do. When principal commissioner taking a list of queries and they're reviewing it, why not we take a list and we write it in our own diary? Today, August 15th, for this importer, this query had come. And you justify, is it because of my fault? Because you know very clearly, is it your fault or customs fault? Is it importer's fault? Then this analysis will help you. And still if there are some illegitimate, then you escalate this to the commissioners or to the association. All right. In this regard, reference may also made to 2015 circular, directing the genuine clarification sought by officer, importers are to be raised at one go. Okay, so this is how the law very clearly says. Now I have a responsibility. The same circular says, CB, trade needs to be sensitized, informed, advantages of providing the first instance only. Because in the herein by, as your member has said that in section 46, 4A, there was an amendment, data quality, that we are responsible to produce the right information. The same thing is echoing here also, that we supposed to mention the commodity, brand or non-branded, model. So by and large, if we take care of our documentation, data quality to a larger extent correctly, instead of making general statements, officer is wrong, officer is wrong. Yes, of course, there is a different intention of raising queries, which everybody knows about it. But to an extent where I shown you a picture, what is not controllable, you and me cannot do anything. What is controllable, this is controllable. So we will control this aspect to reduce queries. And this is what the section 46A also says. Okay, this is in Customs Act, section 46, 4A. It says, the importer who presents the bill of entry shall ensure the accuracy and completeness of the given information therein. So which means you, when I say you means the data entry operator, the checklist approver. Your people needs to ensure the accuracy. Now in exports and imports, we see a lot of notices are being issued that customs is saying that you are party to that. We have to draw a very clear line. Classification, your responsibility. You cannot say just because it is mentioned there, I have done it. Rate of duty, your responsibility. Notification benefit, whether to claim or not to claim, your responsibility. What value they have declared, that is not your responsibility. What UQC they have put in the invoice, that is not your responsibility. That is a contract between shipper and buyer. So have the line clear. This is not my responsibility. What is my responsibility? I must ask the importer. Sir, you are asking me to claim this notification. Ye notification mein nahi aayega. If you say yes, you will justify that. Likewise for classification, likewise for rate of duty, FTA. But don't get into commercial transactional related information. That is where your importers or exporter will get angry on you. If this is how you draw a process, tomorrow when customs implicates, we can defend very clearly. I have done my work correctly. You let them implicate, we can defend. Okay. So this is very important, which you need to understand. Now comes quacks to amendment. I am just closing. In 5 minutes, we'll close. Amendments. Is amendment possible generally? HP, there is a landmark judgment from Madras High Court recently had come. That is section 49 may only one thing. What I've underlined in red, there should be a document in existence. That's all. So in the case which I'm giving, HP Madras High Court, what they have said is their system had a problem. Instead of putting 10 lakhs, the system put it as 30 lakhs. It is a system problem. They issued a revised invoice, but customs said, no, at the time of clearance, you don't have this invoice. Now we are bringing. But court said very clearly, you read this last bullet point. The High Court very clearly said, Chennai High Court, the evidence, the department has, the High Court perspective on the matter was focused on the evidence available to HP. The court advised disregarding what happened presented to them, and instead of focusing on the evidence which already existed, which means the purchase order was already existed for the lower value. The contract is already established. Their pricing methods are already established. One person forgot to put the code. That doesn't mean that they don't have a proof. This is how the rulings have come. So which means 149 is nowadays you can claim. In 149, somebody will come and say that ITC we have to appeal. No, that has two options. Either you can appeal or other available resources. Other available is 149. You can choose that method and you can get it. Voluntary disclosure was a big problem earlier. That means when you, instead of paying 100 rupees, you paid only 50 rupees. When you go to customs, they'll adjudicate. Nowadays, that is not a problem. Section 28, 1 and 2 very clearly says, and to this effect, a public notice is also issued. Do I make it big? I don't know. Okay. This public notice also very clearly said the officer has to collect the differential duty with interest and no further implications. Nowadays, this is also a settled procedure. The extract of this was also recorded in the PTFC meeting when all of you members have escalated this. This is the problem that you have highlighted. Public Notice 12 of 2016 talks about voluntary payment to be accepted. But practically, there was a difficulty. So what resolution passed? The issue has been squarely covered under public notice as per this paragraph. Now, assessing group, public notice is reassessment of assessing group finds that the amount paid voluntarily, importer is still short of payment under section 28(3) shall be invoked. However, it is informed the chairman on specific issues. If they face any difficulties, it can be brought to the officer's notice. So more or less, this is also a settled position. Now, last important thing is piecemeal we have seen. Assessment. The majority of the customs brokers are struggling to comprehend this one fact. I file a bill of entry, that's it, self-assessment. All of you should have this understanding. I'm filing a bill of entry, that is self-assessment. The bill of entry can get intercepted by system on 2 counts. There is some query. If an officer sees that comment, he will have to take a decision on 2 counts. One, I think importer is wrong. He's trying to evade something, malified intention. Or it is a genuine bona fide intention. He has to reassess the bill with this 2 yardstick. If it is malified, he will put penal provision. If it is bona fide, he will reassess the bill and let it go. Now, reassessment, let it go is not a problem. But reassessment with penal provision invoked, that is a problem for us. So in those cases of changing the rate of duty without your consent, we are asking for a speaking order. Now this became a fashion. I assess, I don't have time. The simple method is pay duty under protest and clear it. Pay duty under protest and declare it. The word protest is definitely not defined in Customs Act. It came in Stamp Duty Act. The protest is a concept that if I protest it, maybe tomorrow if there is a refund, the limitation will not kick in. That's the only difference. After that you need to follow up and get a assessment order. Officer will say, my bill of entry itself as an assessment order, you go on appeal. I am facing problem. Commissioner Appeals is remanding the matter back saying, hello, instead of this, you did this. How will I know on what count that officer has done? How will I pass an order? So he's remanding the matter after 1 year back to group. By the time the group officer is changed and he is not giving priority, delay. So as brokers that we need to ensure that we ask for assessment order, immediately we're putting 1, 2, 3 reminders after reminders and get that assessment order and give it to your importer to appeal it further. That is your right. So the reassessment, what you see in the screen, reassessment order with the principle of natural justice, they have to give you a speaking order. They have to give you an opportunity to be heard. They cannot adjudicate the case. Those things are explained over here. I hope you always find reason to smile. Or hope always finds, you can read it in both ways. If you take out that strikeout, then the word is, I hope you always find a reason to smile. So if I strike out I and you, hope always find a reason to smile. It is up to you how you take this. For exports, you can strike it out, or for import, you can strike it out. But hope always gives reason to you. A child will ask a lot of questions. This stress and pressure forced you from asking questions. If you fail to ask questions, you will not grow. So all of you adults become like child. The child will never have angry resentment, no politics. So you also become like a child. So you can ask more and more questions and you can grow. Optimism doesn't mean, okay, I lost so many years. Again, I will rise up. No, that doesn't happen. But it will give you a new life. So the association has given you an opportunity to open your eyes and to see. It is not always somebody can come and spoon feed you saying that BAS will come and say, this is how you handle BAS. FSA will come and say, this is how you handle I am here. No, it is we need to take the challenge and we need to move ahead. The more you explore something, all of you read, the more you will discover. The less you explore, so the mantra is land and spread. Don't stay in a single place. I wish you all the best, and all of you should become like an entrepreneur and handle this battle in a successful way. Thank you so much. Okay, this is my contact. You can scan and you can make use of it anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, sir. Let's give a hand of applause. So, wow, what an energetic session, right? मजा आया कि नहीं? इतना मजा आया सब लोग सो गए? हाँ, मजा आ गया. सी, कस्टम्स, लॉज, रूल, रेगुलेशन. जब मैं बच्चा था 15 साल का, मैं ग्रेजुएट हुआ था, मैं बोला पापा को, पापा अभी मेरी पढ़ाई खत्म और मैं ये धंधे में आया. जो मैं साल में साल में पढ़ता था वो हमको दिनों या महीनों में पढ़ना पड़ता है. नॉलेज इज पावर. हमने जैसे जोशुआ सर ने ये सेशन में बताया कि 10-15 साल 20 साल पहले क्वेश्चन क्या था? क्वेरी, कैटलॉग, पुटअप, वेरी बेसिक थे. अभी ऑफिसर्स अपग्रेड हो गए, वैसे हमको भी अपग्रेड करना है. तो जो भी क्वेरीज आते हैं वो हम स्मार्टली जवाब दे सकते हैं, राइट? सो I have with me my co-chair Chaitali, who is part of the training team of BCBA as well. So we are going to jointly ask some questions. हमको बहुत question आए हैं, so we may not be able to answer that due to paucity of time, but we will compile a list of answers to share with you at a later time. Chaitali, do you want to go with the first question?
Hello.
And Joshua sir, thank you for going digital. जो भी जोशुआ सर का नंबर चाहिए आपको सिर्फ QR कोड लेके स्कैन करो, उनका नंबर और कांटेक्ट डिटेल आ जाए.
Sorry, am I audible? Okay, we have a technical thing. Can I sit there and do it because the Wi-Fi is a problem over here?
You have it on Word, no?
It's on Word.
You speak, they'll be able to hear.
They'll be able to
Yeah.
hear? Okay, all right. So we've got over 40 questions from our viewers. Thank you very much for the same. And Joshua, what we've done is we've divided the imports and exports. We're just going to pick up a handful of them and we will send you the others. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I think I'm seeing this queries. There are quite a few queries which we can give. If they are very serious about it, should we answer this queries or we will compile it?
We've already compiled.
Okay.
We've compiled it and we'll email it to you. So then you can reply.
I'll respond to every query.
Yes,
Perfectly right. That's
and
a
then
good
we'll circulate it through the
Yes, it's
secretary.
perfectly right.
So thank you. Yes, we have. Yes.
Okay, see, I'm seeing some queries here.
No,
No, I'm
you
seeing
ask
some-
the question.
Okay,
Because everyone may not be seeing the Q&A.
okay.
So you answer.
Can I? We've highlighted a few of them, Joshua.
Okay,
Can
okay.
we ask you? Okay, one of them is that this is all, first we are talking exports. Customs raising objection towards Comet if any word of the commodity is linked with the declared product name in the Comet list. There is also other questions related to Comet where they are talking about machinery being part of Comet and all, but this is one of them which is there. The other item question related to Comet is that items like valves come under it, but valves have multiple uses in the industry. So can an end use letter for such products suffice?
Okay, so we'll take this one by one question. In Comet, what they're asking is my product name, for example, titanium. The moment the word titanium comes in, immediately system will say Comet. So we have dealt, in fact, some of you people have referred some matters to me. It's like classification science. Comet cannot be treated like, okay, I have something, I open it and I check, now your items are not covered. So it requires a technical expertise. Some of you may be having that expertise, you can explore that. If not, it's better to refer that matter to somebody who has expertise on that matter to check whether prior to export, whether my items are coming under this Comet or not, if you are doubtful about it. That is one approach. The second approach is that valves. There are valves. The moment you put 84, 81 valves for industrial purpose, valves for domestic purpose are there. So which valve, what composition is covered under Comet? I told you, dual use the criteria. A normal laptop, military grade laptop, a normal item, Comet prevents, even for example, I told you in the last session also, Mazgan docks they prepared some angle, L-shaped angle to hold monitor in the Navy ship. Now, when you look at the angle, it doesn't look like a SCOMET item. A normal angle, since the particular angle is used to hold a monitor in a naval ship, it has a different grade of tensile, which requires SCOMET license. So as a broker, when you see a normal angle, we take a call immediately saying that ye to SCOMET item nahi hai. So that is how you cannot differentiate whether it is covered or not covered. So you have to see at what material, what it constitutes, and through which we will be able to guide the exporter. So to answer the last question, is it okay to get a declaration from the party saying that my export item is not covered under SCOMET? Is it okay? It is definitely not okay. It is a wrong method which is created because everybody are thinking that I will get absolved just by having say, Merko malum nahi, I will only get one declaration. That is not going to take you away from your CBLR responsibility. As a responsible custom broker, if you need to open the appendix categories and you check, if there is even a single word, you ask the exporter to clarify. Ask the exporter to approach an expert and get it clarified, and then you give. By giving this letter, in no way it's going to absolve you from any liabilities coming against you, Chaitali. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Also, one question which is related to SCOMET is that nowadays in export shipments of machineries, customs officials are forcing and stressing on chartered engineering certificate to determine whether the item falls under SCOMET, even if it is not, and even if the end use letter is given. Is there, what is the solution?
It's a continuation of what I spoke while ago. It is no different. Officer wants to know because there also NCTC is pulling the officer also. NCT is also giving an alert to them. They wanted to say, escapes tomorrow. See, I am not an expert. I am a chemical engineer. What was imported is a machinery. Whether that machinery is covered under SCOMET or not, I do not know. So I tell someone else to certify. So chartered engineer is used for that purpose. Even that is wrong. Because nowhere in the law it says, see, if any expert, I always tell in the managing committee, all of you people, there are a lot of qualified people are there. You open up, you check whether that particular equipment having dual purpose. The understanding line is whether this equipment can be used elsewhere. The example which I gave, perfume components, there is an X element which we are using to create a perfume. That same thing can be used in chemical weapons also. So which means you as the customs broker, you have no knowledge about it. Our job is to file the bill and to do it. Then who's responsible? Just by taking you giving a format and getting a declaration will never absolve you as well as the shipper. So the idea is that particular word is already there. If you just do a control F, that word is there in the schedule. If that is the case, you have to, your documentation guy at the time of filing needs to check and ask the exporter to get it validated from an expert. It could be a chartered engineer, it could be an expert consultant who has knowledge in the subject, and they will be able to give an opinion. That opinion can be submitted to customs forever. That is the only right way to handle SCOMET related queries.
One of the questions that we received online was that how for the dual list of goods, is there a book, is there a website, or how, where do they check?
Go to Google and just say SCOMET appendix. It is all available. All these categories are available. So through which you can do it. It is there in the policy for ages. You can refer that. It's very ignorant question. Yeah,
Yes.
you can refer that.
One of the other common questions, and this is a problem of the trade, is that when you are dealing with temperature control cargo or you're dealing with sensitive cargo to the environment, and there is an open examination order and the goods are vacuum sealed and packed, the shipper doesn't want to allow the packages to be open because the moisture is going to be affected. But the custom says that no, you have to open the goods because they want to examine it. This has been taken up at different forums, but they still have, we've got at least 5 same questions, but in different formats.
Okay.
You can please answer.
Okay. See, I have a hands-on experience on that and I've succeeded. So with that confidence, I'm saying, if my cargo cannot be opened in the public yard, 100%, it will be rejected. Literally, it will be rejected. There's no purpose of me exporting these goods to a destination. Having that knowledge without the consent of exporter, I can open it. But if I open it, obviously you will come to know that I have opened it. Okay. And I am representing the exporter. And I am very well aware that it is a temperature control cargo. I cannot open there in the open environment. In that case, I have already told you, for except a specific intelligence, no officer in this country has the power to stop your exports. First, you need to understand, including valuation, unless it is specifically camouflage shipments, somebody smuggling, fraudulent forgery, nobody can stop your shipment. So you have all right to go to the commissioner and say, I will not be able to do it. If you are very particular about it, I am doing a factory stuffing. Send your officer. I'll pay the conveyance, I'll pay the OT, send your officer to my premises. Here I will show you. I cannot show you. Very straight. You should not oblige to this. And if every officer will accept this, no officers are insane to reject your request. And I have done it, I am doing it, and it is practically possible to do this.
All right, we will stop exports now, and we will go to imports. There is one question which has been asked, is especially this is regarding the BIS part of it. One of the clients was asked for regulations of import of motors for Germany, which was covered under HS code 8501. And it was to be for an export product and it's supposed to be re-exported. They want to know, the customs is not aware that whether BIS is applicable because this is going to be a third country export, but the goods are coming to India and then they are going to be sent.
Yeah. So please refer to part 1, question number 36, FAQ 36 or 49. Import consumed in my country only requires, import on export basis definitely not covered under BIS. You can show this FAQ and you can get very easy respond to that query.
Thank you. One more question related to BIS is that if the goods are already shipped and the BL shipped on board date is prior to the BIS applicability date, will
The
BIS
FAQ part 1, serial number 1 and serial number 2 has an answer. Please open this. I've given you the link. It is for imports. It's the entry inward date is to be linked for BIS applicability.
Okay, there is one more thing which is asked. If the speaking order is not passed within 15 days, then can it be treated null and void by adjudication or the appellate authority?
Okay, so there is something known as principle of natural justice. Okay, before adjudicating, I need to hear you the reason. And then I am adjudicating. Arbitrarily, I cannot do that. That is one part. Now, after I did that, within 15 days, section 17.5 tells me that an officer will have to give a speaking order. Now, officer, usually they don't give a speaking order. So we send reminders after reminders. Two things you can take a call. There was a settled judgment, even on the strength of the assessed bill of entry, you can file an appeal, no doubt about it. But the commissioner appeals will not have any grounds to decide because he doesn't have any order. He only has a bill of entry. You filed it under 8471. He assessed it under 8443. His own interpretation and your own interpretation only plays. But what the officer has actually meant, what was his intention of rejecting the classification or rejecting the value, that was not recorded. For that reason, you need to have a speaking order. So numerous cases have been remanded back from commissioner appeals to group for issuance of speaking order. There are same time, commissioner appeals are also decided on matters on merits. Both are possible. There are another incident. It all depends on commissioner appeals. They say that without speaking order, I'm remanding the matter. And within 10 days, within themselves, they discuss and they passed an order on merit. That also happened. So literally as a broker, responsible broker, that we should ask for speaking order. It is our responsibility. Submit one letter through Sevatam, second letter through RPID, third letter file a RTI or CP gram. You will get it, and we have been doing the same thing. There is no need to go and beg an officer, give me speaking order. So instruments and laws are available. Explore it, it will come.
सब लोग इधर ऑडियंस में बैठे हैं. We are going to shut the session. So आप लोगों में से किसी के पास कोई question है, exports, imports, doesn't matter. आपको लगे छोटा हो, आपको पूछना है तो जोशुआ सर इधर है, please पूछ लीजिए. Yes, please go ahead.
तो बल्क प्रोडक्ट आता है तो उसके लिए मार्किंग पेस्टिंग करो, नॉट फॉर मेडिसिन यूज. The bulk product, it is not possible, sir.
In general, for bulk, it is not required. But specifically, I cannot give a comment it is required or not. If you stay with me, share with me the product, I will give you.
Soda has zeolite in detergent industry and the glass industry.
Sir,
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any question?
Okay, with that we conclude the question and answer session. Thank you very much for the love for asking such lovely questions, and thanks Joshua sir for always giving us excellent replies. I would now like to hand over to Honorary Secretary Dr. Nirav Thakkar to give a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, friends. It's been a wonderful session. Thank you, Joshua, sir. You've been really very insightful, to the point, and you provided a lot of tools and equipments for us to answer. Thank you. And with that, I sincerely also thank our all team of managing committee, training committee, Sanjeev, Tej, Chaitali, team of our office bearers and managing committee at Nhava Sheva, right from Hiren, Kodeji, Vinayakji, everybody, you've been source of inspiration. Nirav for working this out. I would request you to, and this is the first session from this temple of training and skill development. So from BCBA Center of Excellence, thank you for being here. Nirav, please come.
Thank you all, and good afternoon once again. So on behalf of BCBA and the Center of Excellence at BCBA, I would like to thank especially first our speaker, Mr. Joshua, for taking time out today and addressing our great gathering here and a good gathering online as well, sir. Sir, every point that you've mentioned, with the practicality is really going to be helpful for us in all aspects on our day-to-day activities. So thank you once again. I thank our president, Mr. Dushan Mulani, for conceptualizing this program, just with the aspect that we learn about law regularly, the topics, everything. But, when applicability comes in terms of the practical aspect, it is very important. So today's session really gave us that insight. I would like to thank our training committee headed by Mr. Sanjeev Haralia, Senior Vice President, Mr. Tej, Contractor, and Ms. Chaitali Mehta for helping in designing this whole program. That, right from the time it was conceptualized, we had to design it in a way how it has to be done with exports, imports, specific points. And Mr. Vinayak Aparaj, our office bearer, Vice President, and Mr. Sanjay Shingote for organizing this session here today at the Center of Excellence. Lovely arrangements here for everyone. We would like to thank all our office bearers and managing committee members who are present here as well as who have logged in online, because each and every member has given these inputs. And with that, today's program has become success with so many points. Also, our secretariat staff who has, worked really hard to make sure that the arrangements with regards to sound, with regards to, everything aspects in terms of organizing it today. And our audience, which is still glued today, we had a record of more than 350 members logged in, as well as the members live here. So that's a wonderful audience today who thought that this is really a very pertinent point, and they are still glued with us. Your question and answers that we have collected, but due to paucity of time, we have not been able to address all of them. We have taken up the important ones, and the other question and answers will be handed over. Shared with our speaker, and we will definitely ensure that all are addressed well. And we request all our members to kindly visit the Center of Excellence and the office space which is here at Trunagiri, and see how this has been developed. And we are sure, as our president has mentioned, this is the beginning, and we are going to have many more sessions here, knowledge sessions. So thank you all once again, for being present today, and thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.